Boker Tov, Shavua Tov and Boker Tov. You know, there is a very famous question, halachic question. If I go to a store, give me 1 second. If I go to a store and in that store I want to buy something, I already paid it. I took the money and I paid for the item. Once I paid it, somehow the item that I bought got broke. Not because of my fault. I don't know, randomly something happened. Yeah, got broke. Who have to pay? I mean, it's considered my item and that's it. I lost it, or I'm allowed to take another item from the store. What's the halacha? So the halacha is very simple. We know that in metaltenin, in the things that you want to buy, things that are objects, according to halacha, you don't acquire metaltenim with money. Ma'ot enam konot. Money, it's not enough to acquire it. To be able to acquire, you have to pick up the item to do kinyan, right? To do an action. That's on items. The Gemara writes, what about animals? If I want to acquire an animal, what are the ways to acquire an animal? Says the Gemara, there is 2 ways. Or you pull him to you, or you hit him and you make him move. And by moving one leg, kivechol, and one hand, yeah, you're already acquiring the animal. Fine, this is the halakha, simple halakha. Comes the Rabbi Mipshischa and he says something beautiful. He says, Rabotai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is our Father, but at the same time in the Torah, we're called his tzon. How you say tzon in English? Tzon is sheep, his animals. And Borei Olam is the shepherd, correct? Say, Rabboni Mipshischa, you want to know how HaKadosh Baruch Hu acquire us? How we are getting under the umbrella of Borei Olam? How? Says there are 2 ways. You gotta have to acquire in one of the 2 ways. One of the ways is that He's pulling us towards Him. The other one is hitting us a little bit, giving us a little bit of challenges, and then we go on. Says David HaMelech, Moshcheni acharecha narutza. Borei Olam, pull me to you. Don't hit me. Pull me to you, and I will run after you. Moshcheni acharecha narutza. Say Chachamim something beautiful. Rabotai, Borei Olam is talking to us throughout things that are going around us. Borei Olam is giving us messages throughout what's happening to us every single day. I want to tell you, there was a famous story that became published years ago about a family from Stamford Hill, I think it's called now, that shchuna in London, religious family, and they wanted to fly from London to New York. The whole family called up a cab. The cab came, and they were inside the taxi. They were driving. 10 minutes drive, boom! One of the wheels exploded. Something weird. The driver stopped in the side. He tried to fix it. He did it quick. He doesn't want to make them lose the flight. He says he finished fixing one of the wheels. 10 minutes later, driving the other one. So what's going on over here? Crazy. Now he doesn't have an extra wheel. a tire. He decided, you know what? He told him, listen, I don't want you to get stuck because of me. If you want, call another taxi. I mean, I didn't thought about this. I'm going to go to the nearest gas station and to buy one. Until he got there, it took him 20 minutes. Comes back and he sees that the family is still waiting. They didn't find any taxi. Still waiting. They're angry already. They're about to lose their flight. Finally, he put on the wheel and he started to drive. A few minutes later, he's behind a huge truck, and this truck, he said, crazy. He had some stones on top. One of the stones flies to the back, and he breaks the front windshield. The driver is nuts. What's going on, guys? What are you doing? You're cursing my car? He says, listen, we don't care. We got to get to the airport. We don't want to miss the flight. He says, you know what? I'm going to cut the truck that is in front. It's going too slow. He's about, to take the other lane. And then all of a sudden, police. Police stop him. Come to the side. He's begging to the police, please, just take all what I have. I'm just dropping those guys in the airport and I'm coming back. Yeah. You're going to stay here until I finish. Bekitzur, the guy to the airport was already too late. Anyway, so they lost the flight. So the family, the taxi driver took responsibility and he says, don't worry, I'm going to talk and I'm going to try to find you another flight. They find them a flight of British Airways flying from London to New York in 1 more hour. Beautiful. In the way back, the driver was thinking, why all this happened to me? He opens up the radio, and there was a flight, Pan America, something like that, from London to New York, that Lo Aleinu Velo Alechem crashed. And all of the passengers, they all died. And he said, look what is when Borei Olam wants to save someone. Kadosh Baruch Hu is talking throughout messages. The question is, how are we supposed to take those messages? Is really Borei Olam, every single thing that happened, I have to make conclusions on what Borei Olam means to tell me? How a guy told me that he had a friend, he used to live in Australia, Israeli. He used to live in Australia. He made a very good, business. He was working great. He was making a lot of money. And he had his huge house, huge pool. He was relaxing. And then all of a sudden he started to think, listen, should I stay here? Or should I move back to Israel? What should I do? He says that he was drinking, I don't know which type of drink. He put the bottle, and the first thing that he sees, go home. In the bottle. Go home, I don't know, oh, what a sign. If I saw those words, I got to go back to Israel. And he went back to Israel, went to yeshiva, whatever. The question is, are we supposed to take those messages literally or not? When yes, when no? Chachamim are teaching us, Rabotai, that Borei Olam is talking to us throughout 2 ways. One way is messages that are going around us. Example, Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was in the desert, right? And there is the bush getting burned. And then Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabotai, fire in a desert is something common. Can happen. So hot, it's normal. It's possible. Says Moshe Rabbeinu, but if I'm seeing a fire, if I see it, it's because maybe there is any type of message behind it. Asura na ve'er'eh, say Moshe Rabbeinu. Let me go and to see what's going on. Et hamareh hagadol hazeh. And because he did it, so Moshe Rabbeinu right up, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was able to talk to him. Rabotai, messages, Borei Olam talks with us throughout messages. There is a story of the Gemara writes down a story by Rav Huna. Rav Huna was a great chacham. And Rav Huna, one day, he had 400 barrels of wine. 400. You know how many liters there is inside a barrel? No, not 1 liter, a little bit more. Over 500 liters. You know how much cost 1 bottle of wine? Go to the Safra stand. 1 liter of wine. Huh? $5 is the cheap. If it is more expensive, $5? $5. Yalla. Inshallah. 15, I think. Oh, okay. Let's take a cheap one. 10. Yalla. 10. Make 10 times 400, 500. Okay? That's 1 barrel. Times 400 barrels. Barrels. Huge. Right? All of this, Rav Huna lost it in 1 day. All of his wine became vinegar. And it was sad. The Chachamim decided to go to Rav Huna to support him and to give him a little bit of koach, chizuk. They get to his house and they told Rav Huna, ay, Rav Huna, what he did? Why do you think that God gave you such a punishment? Rav Huna tells the rabbis, what? You're suspecting that I did an avon? That's what you think about me? And the rabbis look at Rav Huna and they said, and do you think that we're going to suspect on HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he's giving you a punishment with no reason? So Rav Huna understood that those guys, they knew that something wrong he did. So he asked them, what do you think I did wrong? Maybe you can help me. And they told him the whole thing with a payment that he didn't pay. Say Chachamim, Rav Huna accepted on himself and he paid whatever he was supposed to pay. The Gemara writes down 2 options what happened. One option was miracle that the vinegar became wine. Second option, no, the vinegar didn't become wine. The vinegar stayed the vinegar. But the price of the vinegar went up like the price of the wine that used to be before. Say Chachamim, Rabotai, things are happening in our life, it's a sign. Borei Olam is talking to us. Or he's talking to us throughout things that are going around, or he's giving us some makot, some, hitting us a little bit to wake up and to go closer to Borei Olam. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu did. That's what David HaMelech became the head of everything. Maaseh Merkava. And all of this, why? Because he was ready to accept every single makat that he got. Let me tell you this final story before I finish up. There was a boy, yeshiva boy, decided to go to a library in Israel. To a library in Israel. That library, a yeshiva boy, he doesn't understand what's the library so much. He's used to Bet Midrash. In the Bet Midrash, you talk out loud. Sometimes you can eat also. The boy was sitting down in the library, and he takes out his sandwich that he brought with him, and he started to eat. The lady of the library, young girl, sees him eating. Says, should I tell him? Shouldn't I tell him? He's going to understand. I don't want balagan, not balagan. Until she decided to tell him, he was already in the middle of Birkat HaMazon. She waited until we'll finish Birkat HaMazon, and then she tells him, listen, I want to tell you 2 things. Number 1, library, we don't eat. Number 2, Birkat HaMazon, you're not doing correctly. So what do you mean? So yes, he said, Shelo nevosh velo nikashel. It's not Shelo nevosh velo nikashel. Shelo nevosh velo nikalel. Excuse me? You know, I'm praying my Birkat Hamazon years already. You're not going to tell me how to say it. It's Shelo Nevosh Velo Nikashel. So no, Velo Nikalem. Listen, I have a Siddur over here. She open up, you see, Shelo Nikalem. So you know what? I'm going to check it out. I'm going to answer you back. Give me your fax number of this place. I will send you. I will prove it to you. Took him 2 days maybe. 2 days. He found that there is 2 nuschaot, Ashkenaz, Sefarad, whatever. That there is one nuskha that says Shelo Nevosh Velo Nikashel instead of Velo Nikalem. So he sent it in big. Shelo Nevosh Velo Nikashel. Twice. And he sent it throughout the fax. Rabotai, true story. 2 months later, this fellow gets to his address an invitation for a wedding. Looks at the names, doesn't know anyone. After he gets the invitation, he gets a phone call. The girl from the library says, you remember me from the library? Yes, I sent you the invitation. I said, okay, Mazal Tov, but I don't know you. Says, I know you don't know me, but my wedding is thanks to you. So what are you talking about? Says, yes, I want to tell you that Lo Aleinu, she was going out with an Arab. Dating up an Arab. And she loved him from one hand. From another hand, she knew that it's not correct. She prayed to Borei Olam, God, please, give me a sign. Help me out. I want to see some light. She said she was praying, and then all of a sudden the fax comes out. What's written in the fax? Shelo nikashel, shelo nikashel, likashel, it's to fall. Don't fall. Don't go down. She said she read those lines. She said, that's a sign for me. And she broke it. She was able to go out with another boy, Baruch Hashem Yehudi. And she said, my invitation to you is because you saved my marriage. And thanks to you, I'm going to get married to a Jew. Rabotai, the one that is able to see the messages that Borei Olam is talking throughout the nature, and that will help him to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu throughout this. Be'ezrat Hashem, Borei Olam will give to all of us beracha, atzlacha, amen ve'amen.